facilities. 52% pass at credit level recorded as the National Examination Council releases 2014 June-July Senior Secondary School Certificate Examination results.
Into a distinction level.
And Congressional Gold Medal awarded to the heroes of September 11 as the world remembers the Al-Qaeda attack on the United States 13 years ago. Hello, good evening, and welcome to the news tonight. My name is Kurian Umayo. Thanks for joining us. World-class medical facilities and diagnostic centers would be established in each of the 6 geopolitical zones of Nigeria. Headed by Tony Elumelu, the Ministerial Committee on Establishment of World-Class Hospitals met with President Jonathan at the Presidential Villa. State House correspondent Segun Laole reports on this and other engagements of the President.
The Ministerial Committee, led by Tony Elumelu, met with the President to fast-track the setting up of the 6 world-class medical facilities and diagnostic centers in the 6 geopolitical zones of the country. This is in view of the significance of a healthy workforce to the development of the country. The committee also updated the President on the journey so far, as it intends to see how the committee will work with the government to see to the completion of some of the ongoing hospital projects across the country, put at about 84.
Our intent is to see how this committee, working with this government, can help to bring closure in terms of completion to all these hospitals so that our people will stop traveling to India, other South Africa, and other places for medical attention, medical care.
As the private sector invests more in the F sector, the Ministerial Committee urges the National Assembly to pass into law the National Health Insurance Scheme Bill.
That will unlock a lot of opportunities in the health sector that will provide a much needed effective demand of funding that will help the sector to take off.
President Jonathan also granted a farewell audience to the outgoing Cuban ambassador to Nigeria, Hugo Ramos Milanes. The president thanked him for his efforts in ensuring a cordial relations between Nigeria and Cuba and wished him well in his future endeavors. In the State House, Segun Laole, NTA News.
The presidency has described as erroneous the claim that Senator Ali Modu Sheriff accompanied President Jonathan on his recent trip to N'Djamena as a member of his entourage. Presidential spokesman Reuben Abati said this while addressing newsmen on the accusation. Here again is Segun Laole.
It generated hue and cry by critics of the Jonathan-led administration who claimed the president traveled with the former Borno State Governor Senator Ali Modu Sheriff on his recent trip to N'Djamena, the capital of Chad. The presidential spokesman Reuben Abati, while putting the record straight, described the claim as spurious, as Senator Ali Modu Sheriff only joined other Nigerians living in Chad to welcome their president.
The presidency wishes to affirm, for the purpose of emphasis, that the former Borno State Governor was not on President Jonathan's delegation to Chad. In keeping with President Jonathan's commitment to transparency and openness in the conduct of government business, names of the key members of his delegation were announced a day before his trip to N'Djamena. For the purpose of emphasis and to remind all of us once again, they included the National Security Advisor, Colonel Sambo Dasuki, retired, the Minister of Communications Technology, Mrs. Omobola Johnson, the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Dr. Nuruddin Mohammed, and the Director General of the National Space Research and Development Agency, Professor Seidu Mohammed.
The presence of Senator Ali Modu Sheriff, Abati explained, had nothing to do with the president's engagement in Chad.
And what happened was that he joined other Nigerian residents of the Chadian capital in coming to the airport to welcome their president. That was the full extent of his participation in the visit. And it was also at the N'Djamena International Airport that the pictures, which formed the basis of the bogus allegation of President Jonathan hobnobbing with an accused sponsor of terrorism, were taken. The former governor's presence in Chad was certainly not at President Jonathan's instance, and he did not participate in any of the president's discussions with President Idris Deby Itno or his other engagements in N'Djamena.
The president assured Nigerians that he would not willfully take any action that would prejudice the outcome of the wrongful inquiry on the allegation against Senator Alimodu Sheriff.
He seizes this opportunity to reassure all Nigerians once again of his total commitment to doing all within his powers to bring all identified and verified sponsors of terrorism to justice and ending the menace of violent extremism in the country.
In the State House, Shegun Lawale, NTA News.
The federal government will require $86 billion to bridge Nigeria's infrastructure gap in the first 5 years of a 30-year National Integrated Infrastructure Master Plan. The Minister of National Planning, Dr. Abubakar Suleiman, who made this known at the news briefing in Abuja, assured investors on returns on their investment as the Infrastructure Master Plan comes into effect.
Integrated Infrastructure Master Plan (NIIMP) aims to raise Nigeria's stock of infrastructure from the current 20 to 25% of GDP to a minimum of 70% by 2043. The policy designed to accelerate infrastructure development is projected to go up about 485 trillion naira to deliver quality infrastructure in key sectors of the economy such as energy, transport, ICT, housing, water, agriculture, mining, social infrastructure, vital registration and security within 30 years. Minister of National Planning, Dr. Abubakar Suleiman, assured investors that the federal government is working toward reducing difficulties associated with access to credit as well as sustainability of the policy.
It's one thing to have that fear as a Nigerian from our own experience. It's another thing for us as Nigerians to key into this project.
The African Infrastructure Summit Group is partnering with the federal government to make this dream a reality.
Job creation, human capacity development is critical, and our ability to train and retrain Nigerians is something that can be actualized. So we want to allow your peers. This time is not government alone.
The master plan, which was conceived to take a public-private partnership format, will see the federal and state governments committing 52% of the expected $86 billion expenditure and the private sector 48% within the first 5 years. In Abuja, Leah Babatunde, NTA News.
Nigeria is reviewing activities on employment and poverty eradication efforts expected to be presented at the extraordinary summit of the African Union Heads of States coming up later in the year. This effort is in response to the African Union Commission policies, which require every member nation to prepare a comprehensive evaluation report on the implementation of Plan of Action on Poverty Reduction every 5 years. Correspondent Emmanuel Imiro has the report.
10 years ago at Ouagadougou, Burkina Faso, African Union heads of states and government pledged to put employment at the center of their economic and social policies, which were given a marginal consideration in the past, despite increasing unemployment and underdevelopment in the continent. The period, 2004 to 2009, covered the first phase, while the second phase from 2009 to 2014 is expected to cover the report on progress or limitation on job creation. The Ministry of Labour, in collaboration with stakeholders, are meeting to review and adopt Nigeria's report.
Let me also remind you that your inputs, comments and observations will be incorporated into the review of the report being undertaken preparatory to the summit.
Nigeria has done well in the 11 key priority areas as outlined by the African Union, despite the challenges the government has been facing.
The African Union Declaration on Job and Poverty Alleviation focuses on policy instruments that will empower the people, open opportunities, and create social protection for workers. In Abuja, Emmanuel Ayemiro, NTA News.
The Women for Change and Development Initiative, an NGO of the First Lady Dame Patience Jonathan, has organized an enlightenment program to sensitize women to the challenges of Ebola virus disease and the need for precaution. Dame Patience Jonathan, in a message, urged the women to pass the knowledge acquired at the program to their counterparts at the grassroots level. State House correspondent Makul Simon Macham reports.
With its network and grassroots touch, the Women for Change and Development Initiative, an NGO of the First Lady Dame Patience Jonathan, believes it can contribute to the awareness campaign against the Ebola virus. That is why Nigeria's First Lady Dame Patience Jonathan mandated the NGO to bring key leaders from around the country to its headquarters in Abuja and sensitize them.
So it's just to make this thing, this education and awareness to go down the line so that everybody will know how to fight this Ebola virus, to kick it out of Nigeria. That's the intention of Her Excellency Dame Patience Jonathan, who happens to be the initiator and the grand patron of Women for Change.
And after this lecture, we are not thinking negatively, we are thinking positively. So it will have positive effects.
The personal physician to the First Lady, Dr. Ifeoma Amugo, led other health experts to talk to the women on how to prevent the disease and what to do if anyone is infected.
We want to thank our First Lady, Mama Peace, for being very proactive. I think when you empower women, you empower the whole community. Whatever a woman hears, the whole community will hear about it.
The participants speak on the lessons.
We should clean our environments. By doing so, the disease will not come in.
To ensure that we are hygienic and starting from washing our hands, we are going back home to inform our people, to give them sensitization.
The First Lady also made available information materials as well as some preventive kits for the women. In Abuja, I am Makut Simon Macham, NTA News.
Ahead on the news tonight, Federal Capital Territory flags off 2014 Hajj operation. Details after the break.
Love is the greatest of all virtues. The Holy Bible and the Holy Quran tell us so. Love is not boastful. Love is humble, cool under pressure. Love is hope for the next generation. Love is the North, East, West, and South living in unity. Love is progress despite adversity. It makes the impossible possible. Love is a secure nation with prosperity for all. Love is transformation. We need more love. Good luck, Abele Jonathan, driven by love for God and country. Mr. President, we appreciate you. We who are with you are so many more than those who are against you. A message from protectors of Nigerian posterity.
Back to the matter.
Family is all about sharing. And with Airtel Insurance, we share more of the good times. How? Airtel Insurance covers our hospital bills for accidents and illnesses and also provides us with a life insurance cover.
Recharge 1,000 Naira or more monthly to access these benefits for free. Dial *259# to register for Airtel Insurance for free. Airtel Insurance is insured by Cornerstone and powered by Micro-Insure. Terms and conditions apply.
And so we share the peace of mind that comes from a well-assured future.
Come alive with Airtel.
These are the best breed of global leadership. After them stands in crowning glory a visionary and dynamic apostle of the gospel of their virtues. Like Martin Luther King and Nnamdi Azikiwe, he is gifted with the power of oratory.
Education must be free, so that the children of the parents of the poor can go to school.
Like Obafemi Awolowo, he is the grand commander of free education. Like Ahmadu Bello, he is the symbol of unity.
We therefore, as Nigerians, cannot overlook the urgency of now to move this nation forward.
Like Nelson Mandela, he is the true emancipator of the people. Like Mother Teresa and Aminu Kano, he is a lover and true friend of the poor. Like Otumego Ojukwu, he is courage personified. And like Kwame Nkrumah, he is a detribalized Pan-Africanist.
Owele Rocha Sokorocha, save our generation. Even the children say so. To join this call, visit our website on Generation Roches USA at www.generationroches.com.
Federal Ministry of Works, in conjunction with the Federal Roads Maintenance Agency, FEMA, is assiduously driving the federal government transformation agenda in the roads sector. Several arterial federal roads have been constructed and rehabilitated, while many others are undergoing dualization, amongst which are Kano Maiduguri Road, Sokoto Tambuwal, Abuja Lokoja Benin Expressway, Vom Manchok, Loko Oweto Road, Benin Ore Shagamu Lagos Expressway, Lagos Ibadan Road, Ibadan Ilorin, Abakaliki Mpo Ogoja Junction Road, Aba Owerri Road, Enugu Port Harcourt Dual Carriageway. It is strategically replacing damaged grid guardrails with reinforced concrete and new jersey rails, as well as illuminating critical sections of selected federal roads and bridges. And over 7,000 young men and women in the P FEMA Public Works Program, FEMA, is poised to ensure quicker, cheaper, and safer road transportation. Federal Ministry of Works and FEMA, moving Nigerians on good roads. The Special Advisor to the President, Political Affairs and National Coordinator, Goodluck Support Group, Professor Rufai Ahmed Alkali, invites all groups rooting for the re-election of President Goodluck Jonathan to the first National Summit of Goodluck Support Groups as follows. Date, Tuesday, September 16, 2014. Venue, Eagle Square, Abuja. Time, 10 a.m. Chairman, Dr. Amadou Ali, former National Chairman, PDP. Special Guest of Honor, Amadou Adamu Muhazu, National Chairman, PDP. Keynote Speaker, His Excellency Godswill Obot Akpabio, Chairman, PDP Governors Forum. Special guests, leaders and members of the National Assembly, all PDP governors, members of the PDP Board of Trustees, members of the PDP National Execution Committee, and all members of the Federal Executive Council. Together, we can make it. Professor Rufai Ahmed Alkali, announcer.
Birth certificate, letter of employment, state of origin. I get that. Make I still go come back again.
Opening a bank account shouldn't be this stressful. Introducing Diamond Yellow Account, the only way to open and operate a bank account safely from your MTN mobile phone. Just dial *710# or download the DYA app from nextapps.mtnonline.com to open and receive your account number instantly. Transfer and receive money, make payments, apply for loans, and much more.
Diamond, your bank.
Yawa! Turn National Rally. Yanzu say no Central Zone kenan. Everybody will like a better thing from Benue, Kwara, Niger, Plateau, Kogi, Nasarawa, or Abuja. The Transformation Ambassadors of Nigeria in Greater Dukambo make we come together for Trade Fair Complex at Pike Road, Mina, Niger State. Inshallah, on Saturday, 13 September 2014. Wonderful people of the North Central Zone to say thank you to President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan for all the transformational activities in the North Central State. Kuma to join other Nigerians and say Kachigaba, the Southeast don't do am, Southwest they don't do am, South Kuma they don't do am. Haba! For North Central Zone, we go do our own very special Gaskia Tan North Central Zone Rally 2014, the grandfather of all rallies. Saturday, September 13, 2014. Trade Fair Complex, Pike Road, Mina, Niger State. Me, I go there. You know fit miss am.
This message is brought to you courtesy Transformation Ambassadors of Nigeria. TAN, for one vision, Nigeria.
Thanks for staying with us up to this moment. Now, the People's Democratic Party has updated its Zonal Integration Committee to include leaders and stakeholders in the Southeast geopolitical zone. They are Governor Theodore Orji of Abia State, Ebonyi State Governor Martin Elichi, and Governor Sullivan Chime of Enugu State. Others are former Governor of Old Anambra State, Chief Jim Wobodo, and Nze Fidelis Ozichiku. The party, in a statement by the National Publicity Secretary, Olisameto, apologized to the leaders of the party in the Southeast geopolitical zone for the omissions in the published list. The Independent National Electoral Commission has presented certificate of return to Senator-elect in the just concluded Niger East senatorial by-election. The certificate was presented to the Senator-elect Shem Zabai Nuhu by the State Resident Electoral Commissioner, Dr. Emmanuel Onichenyo, at INEC premises in Mina. Mary Nerabaji reports.
Resident Electoral Commissioner Dr. Emmanuel Onacheyo said the senatorial by-election has served as a dress rehearsal for the 2015 general elections and called on political parties to work harder towards actualizing their mandate. Addressing the senator-elect and the state party executives, Niger State Governor Dr. Muaz Babangida Aliyu said the People's Democratic Party in the state is evolving new strategies towards ensuring success of the party in 2015 general elections. Dr. Babangida Aliyu tasked party executives from ward to state level to improve on their existing relationship with the electorate to entrench better democratic culture in the state.
It's a symbiotic relationship between elected, appointed, and the party executive. Every election, every time, you must go back to the people, let them feel you are relevant. Let you as an individual and your party, people must feel the relevance. Let us bring candidates that will win elections for us, that will
make sure that I win their hearts. And one of the ways to do so is to visit them where they live and work.
Senator-elect Dr. Shem Zabai Nuhu appreciated government and the electorate for their support and pledged to represent Nigeria's Central District adequately. In Mina, Mary Nerabaji, NTA News.
The Director General, National Orientation Agency NOA, Mike Omeri, says more troops have been deployed to the northeast to ensure maximum security. Reacting to media reports that insurgents have taken control of some towns in the area, the DG of NOA assured residents of the area of the commitment of the Nigerian Army to secure their lives and property. He also introduced the new Force Public Relations Officer, Emmanuel Ojukwu. Nigeria's ambassador to the Republic of Ireland, Dr. Bolare Elizabeth Ketebu, has emphasized government's commitment to fight terrorism to a standstill in the country. The ambassador disclosed this at a press conference organized by the mission in Dublin to sensitize Nigerians in that country on efforts by the federal government to rid the country of insurgency and achievements recorded so far in the fight against terrorism. Correspondent Bikusu Abdulrazak Oduoye has details.
Briefing professional and other Nigerian groups in Ireland, Ambassador Bolare Elizabeth Ketebu said the administration of President Goodluck Jonathan is committed and doing everything possible to defeat Boko Haram with links to international terror groups.
Government has adopted a multi-track strategy in containing the insurgency to include dialogue, engagement, empowerment, education, and reorientation.
She debunked the claim that the
Boko Haram insurgency is not a religious war, as both Christians and Muslims have been targeted and affected.
Dr. Ketebu hopes the press conference will allay the fears of diasporans and keep them better informed of government's commitment to make Nigeria safe and secure for Nigerians and visitors. Belkisu Abdulrazak Oduoye, NTA News.
The first batch of intending Muslim pilgrims from the Federal Capital Territory are set to depart the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, later tonight to perform this year's Hajj in Saudi Arabia. The FCT Minister of State, Olajumoke Akinjide, who flagged off the Hajj operation at the permanent Hajj camp in Abuja, enjoined the intending pilgrims to pray for peace in Nigeria. Ntaire Ibem reports that the first batch has 500 intending pilgrims on board.
The FCT Minister of State at the farewell ceremony assured the intending Muslim pilgrims that the FCT administration has made adequate arrangements for their welfare in the Holy Land, Saudi Arabia, and enjoined them to be good ambassadors of Nigeria.
Pray for our leaders, for our nation, and of course for their own individual self and family.
FCT Amirul Hajj Alhaji Musa Idris, who is the Sarkin Jiwa, as well as the Director FCT Muslim Pilgrims Welfare Board, Malam Bashir Muhammad, said all necessary medical screening were conducted for all intending pilgrims, including adequate sensitization and orientation.
By the grace of God,
all our intended pilgrims will be normal, inshallah.
Some of the intending pilgrims could not hide their joy.
I am happy that God has given me the opportunity to go for this year's Hajj.
I'll pray for Nigeria because Nigeria really needs prayers to conquer insecurity.
Altogether, 2,497 Muslim pilgrims from the FCT will perform this year's Hajj to Saudi Arabia in 5 batches. From the FCT Permanent Hajj Camp, Abuja, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
In the same vein, intending pilgrims from Yobe State to this year's Hajj have been given enhanced welfare package by the government. Governor Ibrahim Gaidam made this known at the inauguration of the committee led by the Emir of Badre, Alhaji Abubakar Omar Suleiman. Mustafa Yusuf reports.
The 2,260 intending pilgrims from Yobe State are to benefit from free accommodation, free feeding, provision of 300 Saudi riyals for purchase of sacrificial lamb, free spiritual attire, and provision of logistic support for officials and pilgrims both at home and in Saudi Arabia. Governor Ibrahim Gaidam noted that the state government's resolve to render such support and assistance to the pilgrims is informed by the fact that the performance of Hajj is the only single event whereby the largest number of Yobe citizens travel abroad in block for a common purpose.
The Amrul Hajj team should also ensure that good relationships prevail between your team and the State Pilgrims Commission on the one hand, and the relations between the Commission and other Hajj cooperation agencies on the other.
In a remark, the Amir al-Hajj for the 2014 Hajj exercise and the Emir of Bade, Alhaji Abubakar Umar Suleiman, assured that his 11-man team will strive to promote the general welfare and safety of the pilgrims in Saudi Arabia.
For the West African sub-region to harness science, technology, and innovation for sustainable development, financial resources should be channeled to replicate the 1 billion naira literacy project being funded by the federal government. UNESCO regional head in Nigeria, Professor Hassana Alido, said this at the UNESCO regional retreat in Ado-Ekiti. Michael Olale completes the story.
The vision of regional integration and sustainable development, according to UNESCO, can only be achieved by the level of premium placed on education. The task before the retreat is to effectively fashion out globally respected and internationally acclaimed strategies for entrenching functional reformatory education in Nigeria and Africa.
We would like to see a revolution of creativity, which will lead to more employment opportunities and solutions to development problems.
With shared perception on quality education and meaningful development, ABWAD is not only proud of being the first to host the retreat in the region, but also advocating curricular development and funding for reformative education.
Again, another objective for this retreat is to enable UNESCO to formulate strategy for resource management.
Participants expressed optimism that the roadmap to intellectualism, quality and excellence is in strict adherence to recommendations and exchange of ideas.
The opportunities for the region is to have more consolidated and integrated education programs.
We cannot reach development without mainstreaming culture into national policies.
With 8 representatives from the West African sub-region charting a common way forward for intellectual investment in Africa and paradigm shift from conversive approach to radical implementation in Ado-Ekiti. Michael Olale, NTA News.
The National Examinations Council has released the 2014 June-July Senior Secondary School Certificate Examination results with 52% pass at credit level, an improvement from the previous years. NECO Registrar and Chief Executive Professor Promise Obala says the trend is an indication that efforts of stakeholders at improving the quality of teaching and learning in secondary schools are yielding positive results. Rose Gia tells us more.
In 2010, students' performance in NECO SSCE examination at credit level was put at about 13%. 2011 recorded 10%, while it shot to 34% in 2012, 50% in 2013, and it has now improved to 52%, a trend NECO registrar described as laudable and would want sustained and improved upon until the performance is at distinction level.
We look forward to a generation where the recovery will begin to move a good percentage into a distinction level.
Professor Promise Okpala stated that the first set of the senior secondary school candidates who registered for the 34 entrepreneurship subjects have been examined, adding that the introduction of the subjects has expanded the council's syllabus and by extension scope of examination conduct in terms of operational costs. Speaking on the topic of the first annual lecture, the guest lecturer, an international education strategist and emeritus professor of education with the University of Ibadan, Professor Pai Obaya, identified a vicious circle of dysfunctionality in the education system of Nigeria, which is said must be broken to make a headway towards joining the Global League of Nations with solid foundation. Rose Gia, NTA News.
And ahead, Freedom of Information training for civil servants in Lagos. Ademola will guide us on this and more stories. Hello, Ademola. It's over to you now.
Thank you, Kirian. Good evening and welcome to Lagos. The First City Monument Bank has convened an International Trade Customers Forum in Lagos. Annie Daniels reports that it is to intimate its customers on the initiatives introduced by the bank to fast-track business transactions.
Deputy Managing Director, First City Monuments Bank PLC, Segun Odusanya, noted that international trade is the driving force for Nigerian economy and accounts for $30 to $50 billion annually. However, delays in the process of importation have hindered effective international business in Nigeria. This forum, he said, is to intimate the bank's customers on the changes that have taken place in the trade arena, especially in the issuance of pre-arrival assessment reports.
To open letters of credit that before, in those days, used to take about 48 hours, 72 hours. In FCMB, you can open letters of credit in just 3 hours. That is what we promise our customers.
The bank has put in place several initiatives to support customers' individual and business aspirations.
We have import finance facilities, duty payments facilities, as the case may be. We assist our customers in respect of a letter of credit issuance, even as far as getting foreign loans to support their local demand.
The forum is in partnership with the Nigerian Customs Service.
We've done the Nigerian Trade Hub, www.nigeriantradeHub.gov.ng, where importers can access information. And they do a lot of this through the banks. They open their Form M through the banks. So it's a very good platform that the bank is creating.
And I wish all other sectors would take a clue from that.
The FCMB International Trade Customers Forum has as its theme, taking customers' trade business to the next level. In Lagos, Annie Daniels, NTA News.
Adequate knowledge and understanding of the provisions of Freedom of Information Act is compulsory if the civil servants and officers in related organizations are to discharge their duties of whistleblowing effectively. This was the consensus of speakers at the Freedom of Information Act training program for civil servants. It was organized by the Ministry of Justice. Lynn Lenike has more.
When the Freedom of Information was passed into law in 2011, advocates of democratic governance described the move as remarkable. Experts are of the opinion that Nigerians have not been forthcoming in playing the role of whistleblowing as expected, the role which is also to facilitate anti-corruption work. The training, therefore, was to acquaint civil servants and related organizations on the Act and how it can be utilized to enhance the enforcement of the FOI Act.
But we've discovered that if we don't take the sensitization of the Act to the streets by way of taking it all over, we might not help compliance.
Because even though the FOI talks about making information readily available, there are guidelines that have to be followed before this information can be accessed.
Participants described the training as a unique opportunity to learn more about the Act.
With the Freedom of Information Act, it is no more a favor, rather it is an obligation.
And how we go about if somebody from outside asking us to release information, what we need to do without causing any disaffection between the parties.
They are also optimistic that the training will in no small measure assist them in the discharge of their duties efficiently. In Lagos, Lynn Lenake, NTA News.
Just a quarter cup of jig in the water will get school uniforms whiter, and it is the tough stain fighter that will get your whites much brighter. Just Jiggins! Pot puree and lemon. Just Jiggins! Hey, you better go get it! Now available in lemon and pot puree fragrances, the newest and freshest way to jig it.
Auntie!
Hello, my dear. I see you went shopping with your mom, right? And what did you buy?
Power oil. It has 0 cholesterol and 0 trans fats, and contains vitamin A and natural vitamin E. It's a healthy oil for healthy family.
I'll buy Power Oil next time I go shopping, huh?
Power Oil. Healthy for you.
The Administrative Staff College of Nigeria, ASCON, announces a 5-day national workshop on the International Public Sector Accounting Standard, IPSAS. The workshop is meant for accountants, auditors, budget officers, planning officers, treasurers, finance officers, and other officers in charge of preparing financial statements and financial control in all the federal and state MDAs. Date, Monday 13th to Friday 17th of October 2014. Venue, the Administrative Staff College of Nigeria, Topo Badagry. Fee, 100,000 naira per participant. For further inquiry, please contact GA Afolayan on 0803 318 2344 and UD Ebong on 0809 603 4386. Announcer, Director General, ASCON.
Bragging is not President Goodluck Jonathan's style, so you'd hardly hear him brag about all the great things he is doing for Nigeria. He wouldn't tell you he's the first president to privatize power, to give us a constant supply of electricity and economic prosperity. Soon your electricity will be like your mobile phones, 24 hours, 7 days a week. He won't brag about security, new roads, new rail, or new airports, eliminating corruption in agriculture and saving $25 billion per year, mass housing projects, or that our economy is growing at the fastest rate in the world. He wouldn't brag about any of it because he knows there's a lot more to be done. Mr. President, right on. We that are with you are so many more than those who are against you. A message from protectors of Nigerian posterity.
And you're watching NTA Network News. The federal government says all the 66,000 applicants for the housing refinancing will be considered. Shikiola Ibene has the details on Business News.
Hello, welcome to Business News. The 66,000 Nigerians who applied for the first 10,000 mortgage scheme of the federal government will be considered after all. Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister for the Economy, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, stated this while briefing journalists in Abuja. The scheme, launched on the 31st of July, was initially designed to accommodate 10,000 applicants but was oversubscribed by enthusiastic Nigerians, bringing the number of applicants to 66,000.
Rather than try to start selecting 10,000, let them, as mortgage lenders, go and look at all the people who applied. 66,000 applications will be shared out among all the 21 members, lending institutions participating in this. And they promised us that within 8 weeks, they will come back with answers.
Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister for the Economy said the robust response of the scheme is a demonstration of Nigeria's belief in President Goodluck Jonathan's transformation agenda and their trust in the project's Nigeria. Now away from housing, Petroleum Tanker Drivers branch of Nupeng has commended the federal government on the transformation agenda and the successes recorded in all sectors of the economy. In a statement signed by the national chairman of Petroleum Tanker Drivers, Salimon Oladiti, the association particularly commended the administration's effort on road rehabilitation, but pleaded on the federal government to pay attention on some roads, especially in the southern parts of the country. This, they say, is to allow for easy movement of petroleum products in that axis of the country. Now a look at stocks performance on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange. That's business. I am Shikeola NTA Network News continues.
Thank you, Shikeola. Now, Peugeot Automobile Nigeria Limited has donated 4 new Peugeot vehicles to the Nigeria Terror Victims Support Fund in fulfillment of its pledge to support the committee. Receiving the donation on behalf of the chairman of the committee, retired General Theophilus Danjuma, the special advisor to the president on administration, Jerry Ghana, expressed profound gratitude to Peugeot Automobile and says the vehicles will help in ensuring the smooth operations of the committee. It will be recalled that the committee was inaugurated by President Goodluck Jonathan to bring succor to victims of insurgency. As the news continues, over now to Ogechi in our Port Harcourt Network Center. Ogechi, it's good to see you.
It's good to see you also, Kerian, and welcome to Port Harcourt. The new River State Commissioner of Police, River State, Dan Bature, has reassured the people of his command's determination to sustain the present state of security in the state. The CP gave the assurance while briefing newsmen in Port Harcourt. Ifoma Mesa reports.
New Commissioner of Police, River State, Dan Bature, urged the media to disseminate the right information that will make Rivers people to rely on the police and also play their role in enhancing effective policing in the state.
So we will ensure that the subsisting level as it is now, we'll ensure we'll maintain it and we'll continue to interact with all the gladiators.
The outgoing Commissioner of Police, Tunde Ogushoki, who is now promoted to the rank of Assistant Inspector General of Police, said kidnapping constitutes a major concern for the state and as such undertook the task of tackling it from different angles.
We give glory to God that we're able to restore calm here and everybody is happy to go about this business. I thank the Inspector General of Police for this promotion.
Highlight of the event was a presentation of award of excellence to the Assistant Inspector General of Police in the fight against crimes, as well as to enhance efficiency in the police force. In Port Harcourt, Ifoma Omesa, NTA News.
In compliance with the directive of the Director General of NTA, Shola Mole, NTA Port Harcourt Network Center has initiated various proactive steps to check the spread of the deadly Ebola disease, as well as ensure general cleanliness of the entire premises. Dibabari said the reports and some of the precautionary measures, including efforts at improved security in NTA Port Harcourt.
At the entrance gate into NTA Port Harcourt premises, staff and visitors are subjected to body temperature checks with the infrared thermometer in line with warning from medical experts to protect and guard against the spread of Ebola virus and other infectious diseases. Sanitizers have also been deployed against contagious germs, with other contemporary security checks put in place to ensure the safety of lives and property. NTA Port Harcourt premises also wears a new look with the aggressive clearing of the massive compound.
Well, I want to appreciate the Director General for the proactive measure he has taken in order to ensure that the all NTA stations nationwide are free from Ebola virus disease.
That way, nobody will be affected with that virus in this system.
The new zonal director had addressed the management and staff on the need to maintain a clean environment and commitment to duty, for which attendance registers have been provided. In Port Harcourt, Diba Barisidoma, NTA News.
Well, that's it from here. It's back to you, Kirian. Good evening.
Ogechi in Port Harcourt. Thank you. Now to political matters. Labour Party is set to hold its national convention on Saturday, 4th of October 2014 in Akure, Ondo State capital. This is part of the decisions taken at the party's National Executive Council meeting in Abuja. Kemi Fakhe reports.
Communique presented at the end of the meeting, the chairman of the Labour Party, Chief Dan Nwayawu, said he is stepping aside to give room for other interested members of the party as part of efforts to promote internal democracy.
We started this struggle since 2004. And we have been building. God helped us. We have produced governor, we produced senators, we produced members of the House of Rep, State Houses of Assembly, party chairmen. I think after being at the leadership of the party for 10 years plus, it is time for me to go. We have done our bit. We have to allow those with us to come up and also do their own bit.
Chief Nwayawu used the occasion to clear the air on the purported defection of the Ondo State Governor, Dr. Olusegun Mimiko, to another party.
Governor Mimiko is still a bona fide member of the Labour Party. And that is why he is here. So all other rumors you are hearing, we don't have to base our contributions on speculation.
If I'm going to defer, it won't be rumors. It will be clear, it will be stated, and the reasons will be given.
The council commended President Jonathan's unwavering determination to combat insurgency in Nigeria. It appealed for the support of Nigerians to guard against the invasion of the country. The council also commended the federal and the state government's efforts at containing the Ebola disease and stressed the need for more enlightenment on the disease. The meeting also observed the commendable leadership strides of the outgoing National Executive Council of the Labour Party. In Abuja, Kemi Fakeye, NTA News.
As the 2015 general elections draw closer, one of the nation's new political parties, the Independent Democrats, has called on INEC to enforce compliance to campaign spending ceiling. The national chairman of the party, Dozie Amado, was speaking at the party's NEC meeting in Abuja. Ignatius Nkwo reports.
That regulate political activities. For Nigeria, it is the Electoral Act. And one section of the Electoral Act that is being grossly violated is the part that deals with the political party campaign spending limits. The National Executive Council of the Independent Democrats says this is not a healthy development for the growth of democracy in the country. The party believes that buying of voters' conscience and reckless spending will be drastically reduced if political parties generate their own fund and spend within the ambits of the law.
We're talking about is how much do you spend in campaigning for election? They have not lifted ban on campaigns. In the next couple of weeks, the bans will be lifted. And that restriction already placed by INEC is working now. Because if you're running for governor, you have this, okay, you won't spend more than 100 million naira. If you're running for president, you won't spend more than 1 billion naira. It's a welcome development. But our system do not have the mechanism to check it. That is for the matter.
The party says it has decided to raise the percentage of elected office for women from 35 to 50%. The party says it is fielding candidates for all political offices in the country come 2015. In Abuja, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
The National Executive Council of the Democratic People's Party, DPP, has met in Abuja to deliberate on the future of the party and its preparation for 2015 general elections. Correspondent Uche Nwizu has the details.
Issues on the agenda of the meeting are merger and alliance, following the challenges facing the party, especially with the defection of some members and funding.
We are here to update ourselves and see how we can move the party forward to the current situation and realities of political development in this country.
The Democratic People's Party, DPP, says it hopes to run an all-inclusive government and put right the ranks of the present administration.
We will consistently adopt our party manifesto to ensuring that the success of this country is paramount, not individuals.
We are contributing to good governance, contributing to anything that could improve the security, supporting government action, what they're doing against the insurgents.
On the other hand, The party commended the federal government's proactive measures in containing the spread of the Ebola virus and INEC's efforts in providing permanent voters' card ahead of the 2015 elections. However, the decision reached at the end of the meeting will be made available in a communique. Uche Wizu, NTA News.
It was a grand occasion at the Benin City Catholic Church as eminent guests were in attendance to felicitate with the family of Chief Gabriel Ibinedion, the Asama of Benin, on his 80th birthday. Described as an oak, a legend and pillar of the community, Chief Gabriel Ibinedion was lauded by his significant contributions to the development of the town, including the transformation of the middle village of Okada to the new well-recognized university town of Okada. The sermon by the Catholic Bishop of Sokoto, Matthew Kuka, focused on a long and God-fearing, fulfilled life.
Despite being 80, the celebrant is looking the way he's looking. Perhaps this is why the Bible has said in Sirach chapter 26 verse 1, happy is the husband of a good wife. The number of his years is double.
A special award was also presented to the celebrant by the Archbishop of Benin City, Bishop Augustine Akubeze. South African Paralympics athlete Oscar Pistorius free of murder charges. Details on Sports Update after these messages.
Yes, we have lost our communities, farmlands, roads, cattle, water wells, livelihood to the ravages of desertification. Today, federal government in partnership with the state governments of the affected communities is implementing the Great Green Wall program to halt the scourge of desertification. Great Green Wall is committed to planting trees, establishing orchards, grazing reserves, providing